In this video, I'll be showing you how to use JUMP to calculate confidence intervals for one proportion using the healthcare coverage example from the notes. For all of statistical inference, we're going to be going to a new menu, which is this help menu that we haven't used before. So you don't actually have to start with a data table. You just start from the JUMP home screen and you click on help and you go down to this sample data option. Now you have to be careful because there's this sample data library. That's not what you want. You want the one that just says sample data. So click on that and it brings up a new menu, and we're going to be going underneath this teaching resources box here. We'll click on calculators. So there's actually a calculator for all of the inference procedures we're going to learn in this class. What we're doing now is confidence interval for one proportion, so that's what we'll click on here. The next window asks whether you have the raw data or the summary statistics. When you're talking about qualitative data, raw data means that you have a data table with a record of the result for each individual that was surveyed. So for the healthcare coverage example, you'd have 1,000 rows of whether they said yes or no. So we would have had 493 that said yes and 507 that said no. Well, we don't actually have that. What we have instead are the summary statistics, meaning that we have a summary of how many people were surveyed, and we also know how many successes we saw in that surveyed group. So we'll choose summary statistics and click OK. So this is what the confidence interval for one proportion calculator looks like. In this course, we're always going to be sticking with this normal approximation. That's going to apply whenever the NP times 1 minus P more than 10 condition has been met. If that condition isn't met, there actually is a way to use the binomial distribution to calculate a confidence interval. However, that's a topic for an upper level statistics course and won't be covered in this course. The next step is to go over and enter in the summary information for our sample. So we saw 493 people who said that it is the responsibility of the federal government to make sure that all Americans have health care coverage. And that was out of 1,000 people that were surveyed. Then the next step is to go in and enter the desired level of confidence. You can either enter this in as a decimal or a whole number. So I could type in 95 or 0.95. Alright, and after you type in your confidence level, this is what the results will look like. So at the top, they draw you a bar graph of what your sample results look like. So we had 49% successes and 51% failures in our sample. Down here under results, we're first given our estimated proportion. So this is the sample proportion, which was 0.493. And then we're given the lower limit of the confidence interval and the upper limit of the confidence interval. So we see to 5 decimal places our lower limit is 0.46201 and our upper limit is 0.52399, and this agrees with what we did by hand. Typically we'll round our results to 2 or 3 decimal places because since we're using a normal approximation, that's really the level of precision that we have. We don't really have 5 decimal places of accuracy. And then the final thing that we have is this nice little graphic which says, okay, the entire range of potential values for a proportion is 0 to 1, but then here's the range within which our particular proportion of interest is believed to fall.